Welcome to Get Your Act Together, clinic-level monitoring of data exchange transactions. What is data quality? Data quality consists of accurate data. Is the HL7 immunization message properly formatted with no errors? Is the patient information sent in the HL7 message accurate? Are vaccine codes correct? Is the EHR system being utilized properly? For example, with the proper drop-downs? Is there complete data? Are all patient data fields being sent? For example, the patient address, phone number, etc. The more info Care2 has, the higher the probability the incoming data will be merged correctly. For example, we often see the administration amount, the RxA6, being sent empty. Next, timely data. How soon after administration are doses submitted? We hope that most doses are entered and submitted soon after dose administration. Data exchange data quality, standard data checks. There are standard data checks that consist of high priority and medium priority. High priority events include that the vaccine administration date is greater than the date of birth, that the vaccine administration date is not equal to the date of birth unless it is hepatitis B, that the vaccine administration date is before the expiration date, and that the administration dose has an actual CVX code and that it's not just sent as unspecified. There are also medium priority data checks. For example, that the route and body site code is consistent with the vaccine type and patient age. Next, priority fields for data completeness. There are priority fields for data completeness, and they are highlighted in yellow on screen. The majority of these fields should be completed 100% of the time. We expect a high completeness rate for fields on screen, for lot number, expiration date, manufacturer, BFC eligibility, specifically the identifier, and value. Setting up data exchange data quality monitoring in your practice. Each data exchange site needs to monitor its own data exchange process to ensure that only high-quality data is sent to Care2. ACK messages returned by Care2 will allow your site to monitor ongoing data exchange activity and can help you identify errors, including both minor errors that impact Care2 data quality with an MSA1 of AE, and more serious errors that cause message rejection, MSA1AR. High message fail rates of greater than 2 or 3% may indicate common EHR mapping or user errors that can be readily fixed. ACKs with warning errors also need to be addressed. Again, this could be a mapping issue or it could be a workflow issue that can hopefully be readily fixed. Setting up data exchange data quality monitoring in your practice. Important steps to prepare for data quality monitoring include assigning a staff member to monitor ACK messages to ensure continuing successful submission. Determine whether or not your EHR can receive and display ACK messages. If your messages are sent by a sending facility, such as a health information exchange, cloud-based EHR, or vendor data warehouse, contact the sending facility to determine whether they intend to return ACKs to your EHR. An additional important quality assurance step is to periodically compare selected patient records in your EHR with the same patient records in Care2 to ensure that the information in Care2 matches the information in your EHR. There are two options for monitoring ACK messages. They are either directly in your EHR system, if your sending facility sends and the EHR displays the ACK messages. And there's also an option for you to check in Care 2 using the Data Exchange Check Status functionality. If your EMR does not have this functionality, please have a staff member request a powered Data Exchange account so they can use and view the Data Exchange Check Status functionality in Care 2. If you or a staff member need an account, please go to careweb.org. On our home screen, you'll be able to click on Care Account Update. You will need to know your care provider ID and zip code and follow instructions on screen. Depending on what region you are in, you may or may not have access to the Care Account Update feature. Please read instructions on screen. Next, the HL7 message type. A VXU message, vaccine updated unsolicited, is the HL7 message type that EHRs use to send patient vaccinations to care. An ACK message is an HL7 positive acknowledgement message sent to the submitter by Care 2, indicating that the message has been accepted and uploaded. A NACK message is a negative HL7 acknowledgement message sent to the submitter by Care 2, indicating the presence of an error that should be corrected. Messages with minor errors, also known as warnings, are usually accepted and uploaded. More serious errors result in the message being rejected. It is important for you to review your ACK and NACK messages. The HL7 VXU message structure. It is pipe delimited and has multiple segments. The message segments include the MSH, message header, the PID, patient identifier, PD1, that includes additional demographic segment, including the PD112 protection indicator, the NK1, next of kin, the ORC, order control. This segment is required, but the field is ignored. The RXA, this includes treatment and vaccination info. The RXR, the vaccine route and body site info. And the OBX, the observation. This segment has information on vaccine eligibility, specifically the OBX5 field. On screen, you'll see a typical HL7 VXU message. The HL7 ACK message structure includes the following segments: the MSH, the message header, same as in a VXU, the MSA, message acknowledgement code. The MSA1 tells you the ACK code. AA is accepted. AE has an error, but still accepted. This means you usually have warnings. And the AR, with an error and the message is rejected. The MSA2 is your message control ID and corresponds to the MSH10 in the submitted VXU. And last but not least, the error segment. The error segment has fields that tell you the error location, the HL7 error code, the severity, E if rejected, meaning error, or W if warning, and the user message, a description of the error. On screen, you'll see a typical ACK and NACK message. The first one is a valid message. You'll notice in the MSA1, a value of AA has been sent back to the provider. Next, a rejected message, a system error resulting in a NACK. In this case, the message was rejected. The invalid processing ID, the MSH11, must be P, Please remember, for care 2, we only accept a value of P. Next, a rejected message. This is a formatting error, also resulting in a NACK. In this case, the message is rejected. The required field of the PID 3.5 is missing. And last but not least, an accepted message with a warning. This is informational. In this case, there is an informational error. No value was entered in the RxA 10.13. Let's go over some common error and warning messages. The first one is the MSH4. This ACK is saying that the value in the MSH22 isn't a child of your sending organization. In this case, it was probably not registered correctly in the portal, so there is no relationship established. Care 2 is very strict on the parent-child relationship. If you receive this error, please email care-exchange@cdph.ca.gov. Next, the PID 3.4. This error is just an informational error and will not prevent the message from loading into care. The PID 3.4 is the assigning authority, and the value in that field would be assigned locally by your organization. It's essentially asking who assigned the MRUN, in this case, so your 3.5, or the validation for the PID 3.4 may not be following specifications at this time, but leaving the field empty will not prevent your message from loading into care 2. We are working on updating this issue. Next, the PD112. A value should be entered in the PD112, as this is where the patient's opt-out response would be sent. A yes in the PD112 means that the record should be locked in care to outside providers. And an N, for no, means that the patient is fine with their data being shared within the Care 2 registry. An empty value will translate to agree to share in the Care 2 application as the default, but a value should be sent in this field based on the patient's opt-out status. Last but not least, the RxA 10.13. For the RxA 10.13, if there is a value in the RxA 10.1, then Care 2 is expecting a type of code in the RxA 10.13. If you leave the RxA 10.1 empty, you will not receive a warning for the RxA 10.13. For the 10.13, you could use IE for employee identifier, for example. These codes can be found in Table 0203 in the CDC HL7 Implementation Guide for Immunization Messaging. Additional information for Care 2 HL7 messages can be found at careweb.org/care2_HL7errors.pdf. It lists HL7 ACK error types, message segment involved, and the severity and Care 2 response. Using the Data Exchange Check Status to monitor ACK messages. The Check Status feature is only available to Data Exchange Power and Data Exchange Quality Assurance users. Log in using your Care ID, username, and password. Please note that these fields are case sensitive. After logging in, you can click on the Check Status feature under Data Exchange. From the Show drop-down, choose over what period of time you would like to review your recent messages. Choose Yes from the Real-Time drop-down, as most sites are submitting messages in real time. Then click Refresh. The job name on the left-hand side lists each message received by Care 2 from your site during the period shown. The status of the messages that are complete can be viewed by clicking on the job name link. The summary information table reveals whether the patient record has been updated and what information was added or updated. If you are using the Inventory Deduct feature, also review the Inventory Updated or Inventory Not Updated section at the bottom of the summary information table. Both the submitted HL7 VXU message, inbound HL7 file, and the HL7 ACK, HL7 response are sent back to the submitter and can be viewed by clicking on the respective links. If you have questions, please email us at care.exchange@cdph.ca.gov. Please note, a high volume of emails is expected around the launch of Care 2, so the response time may be longer than usual. We appreciate your patience during this transition.